Hey, Emma.
Hey, Dad.
So today we're going to talk about babies.
Babies. But not like real babies, fake babies.
Fake babies. We're going to talk about fake babies.
Electronic babies.
Alrighty, let's get started.
Let's go.
So we're talking about babies today.
Yeah.
So, you had a rather eye-opening experience. Let's tell the listeners about it.
Okay, so I am in the class child development at my high school, and we got to take an electronic baby home. It's called a real care baby, and we got to take him home for the weekend and experience what it's like to have a child.
Yeah, and what was your experience?
Not good
No.
at all.
It wasn't, was it?
Yeah. When I first went into it, I thought it was going to be really, really cool. I was really excited.
You were so excited to get this thing. You had
Yeah.
it named, and you were...
Yeah. I had, like, lists of names, but I knew which name I wanted it to be. It was going to be... The name was Jude Damien.
JD?
JD, yes. And I was so excited. I had the name picked out. I knew... We had done activities in class, so I knew what it was going to look like, which it ended up not looking like that, but...
Okay.
But it was, like... I was so looking forward to it, and I was like, oh, I'm going to not do any, like, quiet times. You can
What do you mean?
ask for quiet times, which is when the baby just turns off for, like, an hour.
Oh,
And I didn't ask
silly
for
mistake in hindsight.
Yeah. I didn't ask for anything. I'm like, oh, I'll be fine. It's going to be great. I'm going to enjoy
this. Yeah.
it. Yeah. And then it happens, and it didn't
then
go
you got
well
it.
at all.
No. What was the first... Well, first of all, tell the listeners about the first day. The first day you brought it home, and it was activated.
So the first day that I brought it home, I was like, it turned on at 4 o'clock. I got home around like 3:15, 3:20. And so I was practicing like holding the baby before it turned on just to see like what it felt like and stuff. And it was a heavy baby. It was really heavy. Well,
Yeah, it's supposed to be like, was it 8 pounds or something?
Yeah, it's like a normal baby weight.
Standard, yeah.
Yeah. And so I was practicing holding the baby, and I was really excited. And then my sister comes home, and then the baby turns on, and I know it turned on because it did like a chiming like brrrr sound.
Oh,
And so I was like, oh great, it's on.
as real babies do.
Yeah, yeah. As soon as it comes out of the womb, it's like
Yeah.
brrrr. But it turned on, and I was so excited. So I put it in my arms, and I was carrying it around, and it didn't do anything for the first like 2 hours.
I know, you were worried. You were thinking, I don't think it's actually on. I think something happened. I don't think they turned it on. And you were ready to email your teacher and say, something's wrong with this baby.
Yeah, because it wasn't doing anything for the first 2 hours, and then finally dinner came around. And we had ordered pizza because we were like, well, just in case the baby starts doing something. And so we ordered pizza. The pizza's here, and I was about to take my first bite. I took my first bite, and then she cried for the first.
Yeah.
Or he cried for the first time, and so that was great. And then
And that's fine, because what did you do when it cried?
I just panicked. No.
No, you didn't.
No, I went and like fed him.
Yeah, you jumped up and did what you were supposed to do to satisfy it.
Yeah.
And how long did that take? How long did that take?
Well, the feeding usually took about like 10 to 20 minutes. So
Okay.
that one was
About typical.
Yeah. And then I kept eating. I kept getting interrupted when I was eating, but it was fine.
Yeah.
And then that night I invited my friend over, or our neighbor, and because she wanted to meet the baby. And
She's big into babies.
yeah. She's like a babysitter, and she loves kids and stuff. And the baby did absolutely nothing the whole time she was there. And so I was like, oh, great. And so but then I was also thinking, well, this is going to be a pretty easy baby. And then night came. The baby, starting from like 10 o'clock, woke up every hour or every 2 hours, about 3 times. Like, it would like go off 3 times every hour, every 2 hours.
So it was like, on average, like we're waking up every 20 minutes or so?
Well, no, it would, like, when the 2 hours came, then it would cry 3 times. Like, it would just wake up different times, like, right next to each other.
Oh, because you had to do different things. So
Yeah.
the first cry was
like
typically feeding.
Then another one was like changing the diaper, and then the other one was rocking.
Okay.
And so I woke up multiple times during that night. I ended up having to leave my bedroom to let because I share a room with my older sister. I ended up having to leave there so that she could get some sleep.
Yeah.
Because I kept waking up. I barely got any sleep that night.
Yep. Yeah, you were pretty tired the next day.
Yeah. And then once I was tired, then it all went downhill from there. Because...
Well, but the next day wasn't too bad because we had soccer, right? That was Saturday.
Yeah.
And we took it to the soccer field, and it
Yeah.
was cold. It was...
Yeah.
That was the day that with all the frost, wasn't it? Or was it not? I don't remember if
No,
that was
but it was one of the colder days.
it was a cold day for soccer.
Yeah.
And so you had the baby out there, and it was all bundled up.
Yeah.
And it has temperature sensors in it, so
Yeah,
if
it
it
does.
gets cold, it will let you know.
Yeah.
And that, I guess, it records it, and you get some sort of a negative mark on your...
So I had like
history for that.
blankets on it and stuff.
Yep. And it didn't get cold, so it was good.
Yeah. And then we were at the soccer game, and then right when the soccer game ended, she cried and wanted to be, or he cried and wanted to be fed. So.
Oh, that's right. That's when you had to feed it and then change it in the back of the car.
Yeah.
And that was
then
your...
I changed it in the back of the car, and I don't know how to change a diaper in the back of a car, and I ended up giving it a head trauma.
Yeah. Sure, it recorded as a head trauma.
snapback
Yeah.
Yeah. So I got some points off for that.
Yeah, just what you need for a newborn baby.
Yeah.
Head trauma.
But the thing was, because throughout the whole experience, because I was so worried that he was going to cry,
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't let myself sleep, and I
Right.
wouldn't let myself leave the baby's side. And so the only time I actually got a break was when I took a shower, and I made sure that my parents stood by it the whole time. And then
And then you could go take a nap.
yeah, that was the one nap that I got because I was because you guys forced me to take it.
Yeah.
Because I was just so...
You were spiraling out.
Yeah, I was crying more than the baby was.
Yeah.
So, and it was just because I was so tired, so...
And that baby was relatively quiet the whole day.
Yeah.
Until
nighttime.
Until nighttime again.
And then the nighttime came and it cried multiple times.
That was ridiculous because that was the night that I stayed with you. We were sleeping on the sofa. We were just, I was there to help you so you could get some sleep and then I couldn't. And then what happened was every time it gurgled or cooed or even was just about to cry, you would snap. I mean, you would jump right out of the sofa, run over to it, scan your little tag because you had to scan a tag before you did anything with it, so it recorded that it was you. And then you were taking care of it. And then it was, for some reason, waking up every 20 minutes. It was ridiculous.
Yeah.
I didn't get any sleep. You didn't get any sleep. And what happened next?
So then around 11:45, 11:30 at night.
And at that point, it had gotten up 8 times.
Yeah.
Between 9:30 and 11:30. 2 hours.
Yeah.
And it had gotten up 8 times.
Mm-hmm. And so we had gotten no sleep at that point, and it was crying. And that night, too, there was also 2 times that happened where he just cried for 3 minutes, and we tried everything.
Yeah, just for no reason.
Because there's different things you could do to help it stop crying, and we tried every single thing, and it just kept crying.
Yep. And that's reality. I mean, because sometimes babies do that. Sometimes
Yeah.
they just cry. You don't know why. You can't fix it.
And so then when the baby was eating, and I was like, I can't do this anymore.
Yeah. Yeah, you were pretty
So I
much
was-
at your wit's end.
Yeah.
You were shaking and exhausted and
I was just so
you were
tired.
crying.
Yeah. So
And it wasn't a little sobbing. It was full on about to break down crying.
yeah. And so we decided, okay, we're going to try to turn this off.
Yeah.
And so I looked it up on the internet how to shut down the baby. There's this button on the back, and it's an emergency shutdown. If you press it 6 times, then it turns off. And so after he was done eating, we did that.
Yep.
And then we got some sleep.
And then you emailed your teacher and
In
said,
the morning, yeah.
this is what happened and this is what I did. I
Yeah.
swear that baby must have been in addicted baby mode or something. That thing was just getting up so much. It was so crazy.
Yeah.
It was really unpleasant.
But that...
And
so,
we've raised 3 daughters, and we never had an experience like that where you were just getting up relentlessly like that.
Yeah.
Where you got no sleep.
Yeah. And it's and I was getting up so quickly, too, because, our teacher warned us, because she was like, well, the baby only cries for, a minute or 2 minutes, and then if you don't care to it right away, then it'll, mark it as neglect in the system. And so I was like making sure that I got to it in time.
Yep.
It was just bad.
Yeah, I was thinking about this afterwards, thinking about the whole experience and how unrealistic this is. I mean, sure, if you want to torture somebody, give them one of these babies and make them care for it, throughout the night, but you don't get any of the benefits. And that's one of the drawbacks of this kind of a simulated baby is a real baby, you hold it and it grabs your finger and it coos and it smiles and you give it love and you feel love back and there's a whole give take in this whole the interaction with this, and this thing didn't do anything other than cry. I mean, it was just negative, and all you were doing was trying to maintain it like one step ahead of it full on crying.
Yeah.
And I mean, first of all, that's no way to raise a baby. You don't want to keep it to the point where it's just about to cry, but not quite crying, because that's frustrating for the baby. It's frustrating for you. Mm-hmm. Your goal as a parent is to make the child happy. You want it to be satisfied. You want it to be happy, and so it can grow and evolve and become a strong person. And there's going to be downtimes, but still, miss all of that and just have the negative. It's just not realistic. It really isn't. So I thought it was I thought it was not a good estimation of what it's like to have a baby.
I agree with that too. So,
but when I was looking at the website myself, I thought that the whole intent of that was almost like a Scared Straight program. Like where they take troubled teens and let them hang out in prison for a day to see what real prisoners are like and try and scare them away from prison life.
Yeah.
I thought it was kind of like that, where it was just designed to scare you away from unplanned pregnancies.
Oh, wow.
It didn't seem like it was designed to be a realistic portrayal of having a baby.
Huh. Because she never said that. She just,
Yeah, I think that's what I gathered from the website. I could be wrong, but that's kind of what I gathered from the website. And they actually do have different modes for the babies, too, where you can actually put it into a addicted baby mode where it just has incredibly high needs that it would take a team of nurses to maintain as opposed to a single parent working through the night. It was a crazy experiment. I was glad that we shut it down. I really I was kind of afraid that you were going to completely turn off, and I don't think at this point you ever wanted kids, right? So.
Well, I mean, I might adopt, but when they're a little older,
when they're 14.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's crazy. It was just a weird experience. Okay, before it happened, before the negativity, what was your first reaction when you first got the baby?
Well,
in class.
So I thought it was, I thought it was going to be fun, and I was really excited to take him places. Like, I was going to take him to a restaurant and to the store and to the park, maybe even. I was going to take him everywhere. Yeah. Just because I think it would be cool. When I had the baby, I ended up taking him to grocery store, and I took him to. I
think we took it to the library too.
Yeah, I took it to the library, and then the soccer field. Yep. So I did get some experience with that, but I just thought it was going to be really fun because I was looking forward to it. I wanted to see what it was like to have a child, and it didn't work.
I remember when it was either you or Leah was first born. As soon as we got out of the hospital, we had to take. Mom was hungry, so we took her out to eat, and we obviously took you and or Lee. I don't remember which one it was, but we had no problem taking you guys out in public. Yeah, because we had to go out. We got things to do, errands to run. Yeah, had to feed ourselves.
Yeah, but when I was at the store, the baby cried like. It was fine towards the beginning, but then he cried, like, towards the middle of the shopping trip. Yeah. And so I went to the front of the store. There's, like, a little cafe he could sit. And I just took care of him. I fed him and changed his diaper out in public, which I realized isn't a good idea. But I did.
Sometimes you got to do it where you can do it.
Yeah. And then I rocked the baby, too. I did all three things, in the store before I rejoined with my mom.
Why do you think you were so on edge about this baby and making sure that it was cared for? I mean, you mentioned that there was like almost like a timer inside, whereas if you didn't attend to its needs, then there was going to be some adverse reaction. So if you didn't care for it it was either
after a minute or after 2 minutes of it crying,
Mm-hmm.
then he would cry harder